Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bots match. We have got ourselves a replay that was suggested by one of the bot authors, by 7, and that's awesome, because it means it's probably going to be a pretty good game. We're on the map Glittering Ashes today for this bot versus bot game. In the bottom left, we've got a bot that I've cast before. It's Rasputin. Rasputin? And in the top right, we have got not 7, but 1. So, we have got a Protoss versus Zerg matchup. I mean, if you want to look at it through that lens, although it really is bot versus bot, so I don't think the race matters quite as much. And I think it's still kind of up in the air what race is best for bots. Yeah, I don't think there's really a definitive answer on that. But we're gonna see who's gonna come out on top today, the Protoss or the Zerg. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this replay, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, hit that bell icon. Join the Discord that's linked down below, and most importantly, in the comments, you gotta say more bots. More bots. As that feeds the most important bot of all, the YouTube algorithm. Not really the most important bot of all, as this YouTube thing is kind of casual for me, but showing your support and stuff does go a long way. And yeah, we're just watching these bots go. I'm listening to the sound of my washing machine in the background. I'm hoping that that's not being picked up on the mic. If it is, I apologize. But you know, when the Starcraft bug itches, bites, I don't know. You just gotta start casting, and then I'm like, oh, I've had laundry in since I started this cast. But we're just gonna go with it and hope that the mic setup is good enough. And yeah. Anyway, as we watch this go on, Rasputin. I don't know why I'm having a hard time with that. Gets bonus point for putting in these nice chat messages. It said hatch first in its chat message, which I love when bot authors put I guess triggers like that in the chat for us to see. And then yeah, as far as this game goes, it's just fairly macro oriented. I mean, not really from the side of 1 actually. Well, yeah, I'd say. I mean, it's going for 3 gates, but it does have the Nexus, so it's macro oriented, very gateway oriented, using the Chrono Boost 2, which is great to see from a bot, just dumping that out as soon as possible. Protoss bots don't have to worry about like making sure that they save energy for a scan in case there's potential DTs. So yeah, just have them dump that chrono basically as soon as they can, and that'll lead to some pretty efficient macro. We have got sentries now on the way for 1, and it looks like we may be going for a bit of a push by 1. We'll see if Rasputin is going to be ready for this or not, as it is just going for a very standard Zerg macro. Like, if you looked at this and ignored the APM, you'd say, yeah, this is a pretty fair level of Zerg play. Just standard macro opening. Roach Warren on the way at the 32 drone mark, which is very standard for Zergs, or pretty standard for Zergs. Nice and safe anyway, which does give me hope for Rasputin that the bot will be fine. We've got Queenies on the way constantly. Roach is going to be on the way soon. These Lings are out on the map, but this attack is yet to be scouted. And from 1, actually, this isn't going to be a push or anything. There's a 3rd Nexus on the way. So just a gateway macro style, which isn't something that you do usually in a regular StarCraft 2 match. But there is a Twilight Council on the way. We'll see where this is going to go. I am enjoying seeing how these bots are building up already. Spores are on the way for Rasputin, which is good. Getting that anti-air just in case. Getting that detection, very safe choice there. No spore in the main, interestingly enough. Evo chamber on the way as well. And yeah, just a big old macro game. There's going to be a move out from 1, but I don't believe that this is going to be some big commitment. It's trying to kill this Overlord with the sentries, with the Stalker, and it will succeed doing that, but as far as a big attack goes, I don't think that's on the cards right now. And we see 1 is just moving around with its Stalkers. We got that AI movement, one of the most defining parts of StarCraft bots, how the units controlled, or how the units are controlled. And yeah, Rasputin is just building up roaches and raptors. It's got a good number of queens. There is absolutely no danger here, I think, for the Zerg bot, assuming that it takes an engagement good. I mean, it is only 3 roaches and a ravager. There's more on the way now, but I still think Rasputin is going to be fine here as more lings are on the way out. We've got the roaches and ravagers and the queens just being the main defense there. Gonna push this attack by 1 away. And that's why when I saw the 3rd base, I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to be a big attack, because you don't go for a 3rd base and then a 5 gateway attack for Protoss, even if you're a bot that thinks it's better. Yeah, now we take a look. Rasputin is actually moving across the maps. 1 is microing away with these stalkers. Good micro from both these bots. Stalkers do pretty good against roaches when they are microed well. The lings, though, are a bit of a concern, as they are going to be wrapping around, and the stalkers won't escape from them. So these bots are trading out right now. Like, that Ravager does get picked off, but then so will the stalkers. As far as more units go for 1, there isn't a ton. It's going for Warpins at an interesting location. I'm not sure what the logic is there, as there is no pylon at that 3rd base yet, by 1, which could potentially come back to bite it, as it really does need to be getting out as many units as possible. Sentry gets caught by the lings. We're seeing an attack now with all these lings by Rasputin. There is a lot of zealots here for 1, so it should be fine if there is an engagement. The stalkers are shooting away. And yeah, these bots are just trading out. First it was Rasputin on the defensive, and now it is 1 on the defensive, but they both successfully defend. We see double forge on the way here for 1. No upgrades started just yet. There is attack upgrades on the way here for Rasputin. And then, yeah, just Hydra's on the way, getting that +1 attack range. And now we see the queens are starting to move across the map, but they're going to back up. Hydra's, roaches pushing on out. Rasputin overcommitting a little bit, but what a great back and forth bot match we have here. The stalker control from 1 is nice to see. And then, yeah, just a good old game. The Zerg is Zergin, as it's taken more bases. We see overlords poop and creep all over the place. Not sure why it's doing that on its own bases, interestingly enough. Usually you do that on your opponent's bases. I don't know what the logic is there, but interesting, that's for sure. Hydra getting transfused, still gets picked off. There is about, what, 12 stalkers here for 1, pushing on out. There's actually 18 on the map, but I don't think they're all here. There's some that are derping out a little bit at the back there, and that is some interesting control. I may need to go have more of a look at that later on. There we go. These stalkers are coming up to the front, and it is looking like Rasputin is in a bit of trouble here. Hydra's pretty good against stalkers, but the numbers are definitely on the side of 1 for this engagement. There definitely is some derpage here. There was a large portion of 1's army is getting pulled around by that overseer, which isn't great, as this attack could potentially be big, but it is giving the Zerg bot more time to rally here. We see double immortal on the way behind this for 1. No upgrades at the forges just yet, interestingly enough. But yeah, the Zerg bot does hold, thanks to that clutch overseer, which was kind of pulling them stalkers away. Although still down on supply, so not a great spot for the Zerg bot. And the Protoss bot, I will say, has got the better economy at 80 workers versus the 65 of Rasputin, which is not what you want in a ZVP if you're a Zerg. So I definitely think it is 1 that's got the lead here, and the numbers definitely show that. So I'm not exactly a revolutionary with that idea. But yeah, I'm definitely liking the play here by 1. There's an attack upgrade on the way. No armor yet. Besides, it needs another pylon right there. Then a Rolo Bay actually on the way. So we could potentially see Colossus behind this. And yeah, 1 seems like quite a strong Protoss bot. We see a few Hydras and Queens out on the map. They don't want to overcommit though, as that Protoss army is definitely looking fierce. The Zerg bot in full retreat. It does have the upgrade lead and will continue to have that with the 2-1 on the way. So that could potentially overcome this supply difference. And now we see 1 moving on in. Is Rasputin going to be able to defend here? Where's that Zerg army? Is it coming on in? Hydras are backed into a wall. It's going to go for the fight. Hydras are pretty good against stalkers in this situation. Is all the army engaging? The answer is yes for the most part for the Zerg. And yeah, I think this is going to be a hold here, as there is quite a good number of Hydras I don't think this was all the supply here for one. It definitely wasn't, so another partial fight by a bot that is going to cost it. And we'll swing the game a little bit back here towards the Zerg. Definitely improve Rasputin's position in this game. And yeah, those stalkers are all going to die, it looks like, even with their little derpy blinks there. I think this was pretty good for the Zerg. We do see one with a nice mineral count, though. Almost a little too nice, but just goes to show that it is going to be able to pump out a lot of units. We've got Colossus on the way now, which will do very well against Hydras, even getting extended thermal lance. Armor is on the way as well. No +2 attack, which is a bit of a bummer, because Colossus really do benefit from those attack upgrades. We see a bit of a skirmish going on here at the front. Once again, not the whole army for one fighting, so that is a little bit unfortunate. A good fight there for Rasputin. No gas is being mined at this 4th base as well, which is a bit of a bummer, as the Protoss bot definitely is lacking in the gas. We see the Colossus, the Immortals now stepping forward, though, quickly pushing that Zerg away. I think that might have been some morphing lurkers there. Wait, no, there's no lurker den, right? What was that canceled morph? Was that like an Overseer or something morph in there? I swear I saw like some canceled minerals there. Oh, it was probably a Ravager. Looks like we're gonna see a 5th base on the way for one. I'm still just looking at the lack of gas here, which is kind of biting one in the butt there a little bit. I'm curious at what point it's gonna take that, or if the bot is just set to stay on 3 gases, so it will take more gases when these ones mine out eventually, if the game goes on that long. We are seeing these Colossus do some work. The Zerg bot definitely on the back foot against this Protoss composition. Extended thermal lance Colossus are no joke against squishy Zerg units. Looks like a couple stalkers going deep here. They are going to get pushed away, but then the main Protoss force is doing pretty darn well with kind of cornering some more of the Zerg army here. And if it can get the kill, that would be a big deal. Supply is in favor for the Zerg bot, but a big chunk of that is the drone explosion that has gone on. 118 drones. The economy of Rasputin is just insane. And if you're making banelings or something, you can kind of say, oh, okay, just keep throwing the banes at your opponent, but there is no banes. There is indeed a transition here, though, for Rasputin, getting out Corruptors, which will help with the Colossus, a greater Spire on the way. Broodlords are no joke against a Protoss composition, particularly one controlled by an AI that might just derp against Broodlings and that kind of thing. Could potentially be problematic here for the Protoss agent. Now we take a look. Those drones are getting picked off, fried by the Colossus from the high ground. Oh, that is brutal. There is an engagement going on the right side. Hydras are taking a decent trade as they're not engaging. Those Colossus Immortals are actually going to be getting picked off here. Can Rasputin hold on? It's quite a big battle here. I mean, the Hydras are stepping forward. The Queens are in the fight. More and more units are being pumped out by both bots. Is the reinforcements just coming across the map? Yes, they are for one, it looks like, and they are indeed. So this fight is not done yet. The Colossus are getting cornered now, though, by the Hydras. The good splitting by Rasputin is actually minimizing the damage by those Colossus. That Colossus ceases to exist there as it gets picked off. Rasputin holds on. There's now a Broodlord on the way that could completely turn this game around if there's no answer by one. And we take a look at one. Once again, 5,000 minerals in the bank. Not taking these extra gases. That's really biting this bot in the backside, as it is bottlenecked by the gas. So I'm quite curious on that. More Stalkers on the way. The attack upgrades are there for Rasputin, so the Hydra's putting out a lot of damage. Yeah, I think things are really going to start turning around here for Rasputin. It was on the receiving end of a nasty attack, but one just did not take a good enough fight there to be able to close the game out. There's now at least a Broodlord out somewhere. There it is, hiding on the hatchery. But there we go, Broodling's now being shot out, and when it comes to these trickle engagements, there really couldn't be a better unit other than Broodlords. And yeah, I'm quite concerned here for one. Now it's taking one more of those gases. I'm curious, is it because this one's about to mine out? Like, is that timed out so that it takes another gas right as this one mines out? We'll see if it takes another gas as this one gets closer to it, down to like 100 or so. But yeah, definitely a gas bottleneck there, and this is what I was worried for the Protoss. The AI does not have, or the bot does not have the intelligence here in order to say, oh, broodlords, I gotta get out of there, as a human player would do so. And it could very well just be a slow trickle to death. You can make 60 zealots if you want, and that's not going to help you against broodlords. So yeah, I think Rasputin is going to have this game, as there really will be no answer to these broodlords. The Protoss is coming on in. The Stalkers, I think, are just not going to be able to get anything done here. And there we go, yeah, Broodling's getting shot out, dealing tons of damage there as they connect. I mean, more units to the north, like, it is one of these trickle engagements, so it's not going awful. And if we look at the resources lost this game, it is in favor of one, but I just don't see these broodlords getting dealt with. That Nexus died rather quickly there. We take a look, I mean, Stalkers getting pushed around, but yeah, supply really in favor for Rasputin. And, well, what a great back and forth game we've had here today. This was phenomenal, actually. Even Transfuse going down on that broodlord as it takes like a hit. Yeah, but in the end, it just didn't even matter. Stalkers getting on top of the broodlords, but only 2 Stalkers, so it's more of an accidental than an intentional thing, it looks like. Yeah, one's really giving it all it's got, but eventually, yeah, gateway units are not up to stuff against Hydras, against broodlords in particular. The Colossus, I mean, is there doing its thing, but yeah, free damage from these broodlords non-stop. A Stalker does blink underneath the broodlord. It is going to try and get it. Can this Legend Stalker finish it? No, the broodlord survives. Double Prism on the way, because why not, for one. The Nexus is being rebuilt. I mean, it looks like Rasputin is backing off. But here we go, another engagement. Broodling getting free damage done. It is one of those things, like, as a bot developer, you really go out of your way to be like, yeah, I need to program my Protoss bot just in case that there's a Zerg bot that goes for broodlords. Are you really going to put in all that work? Probably not. Probably not. When you're just going for a solid amount of wins. And yeah, Stalkers just getting massacred. How many Stalkers have died here? If we can hit that many likes, that would be something, because I know it's a very high number. Let's see. 137, yeah, I think that's a little bit high. But if by some miracle we could hit 137 likes, that would just be nutty. Yeah, what a great game, though. What a great game. Probe's just killing. Like, yeah, let's just hold on to these minerals and pray for a second here. Okay, Stalkers out on the map, engaging constantly. Even the mineral bank is now dropping for one, as it's just been Lost City. Now 1 being behind in the resources lost, that's been turned around. What can you really expect when you're trading with Stalkers and such? As I think it will just be an inevitable demise here for the Protoss agent. More Stalkers being warped in. I really did like the play by 1. The attacks were awesome from both these bots earlier on. And yeah, it just goes to show that there is a lot of depth in these bots. Stalkers even being microed in the Prism, because why not? You can micro those Stalkers all day, though. All day, though, buddy. I don't think it's going to do you any favors. It did end up taking that extra gas, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Leave a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Join the Discord, and most importantly, if you're a bot author or just someone in the community, send me more replays. I need more replays to cast. As, it's hard. It's hard to go out and find good games. As, yeah, it's tough, so send me your replays. As, we wait for whether it'll be an elimination or a GG by 1, we'll see. Hope you guys enjoy a slideshow for the end, as the Zerg just takes over all the map, as good Zerg should. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks so much for tuning on in, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you next time.